What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 8 of Beatroots. I'm very excited this week to introduce Dimo. He's got an incredible track to share with us today. Tell us about the track, tell us about your musical background, where you come from, all of that stuff.
Great. So I'm from New Haven, Connecticut. This track I'm calling Triple Play right now.
Okay.
It's for a new project that I'm working on, some new future-based stuff. I'm gonna do some maybe vocal features on a couple of the songs and stuff, but I think this one I'm gonna leave as is. But yeah, so I'm living in New York now, just working on producing, trying to get stuff licensed and things like that, and yeah.
Cool. When did you start producing, and what forced you to get into it?
Probably started producing when I was 13 or 14. I think freshman year of high school is when I got Fruity Loops was my first program.
Fruity Loops was the first program.
Yeah, and I was just making hip hop beats and that. We would do freestyles with me and my brothers and his friends.
Yeah.
That was sweet. And then after that, at 16 or 17, I think I discovered Ableton Live, and then since that, I tried Logic, I think, briefly before that, but once I tried Ableton, I really liked it and just stuck with it all the way up until now.
Cool,
So it's been about 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
Alright, this track is called Triple Play by Dimo. This is after 10 years of production. This is what Dimo is busting out. Let's take a listen. Danny, there are a lot of cool things that we want to learn about that track. Tell us where you want to start.
Well, might as well start with the intro, right? So, my overall goal when I started making this was I wanted to do something where I started up with a build-up that just got really big, really wet, really lush, kind of reverse the roles of the drop.
Yeah.
And kind of have something that gets really big and really lush and then drops into something really tight and dry and less big and busy. So to achieve that, I had to so I'll solo this arp.
Yeah, let's take a listen to that.
So it starts off dry and just like really short plucks, really short decay on it. And I'll open up Massive here. The things that I'm actually messing with. First of all, the scream filters is pretty important, just because when you take off the cutoff, the scream kind of gives it a different character than just taking a regular low pass.
Yeah, and what exactly is that filter?
The scream filter?
Yeah.
I think it's kind of just some sort of like double notch or something. It's some sort of notch filter.
Okay.
Basically. Yeah, but I combine that like halfway with a regular low pass, like cutoff filter.
Right.
And
so the cutoff is being increased over time.
And while I'm bringing that cutoff, actually, I'll kind of play the end of it again. While I'm doing that with the cutoff, I'm also taking the release, and I have a macro going on that. That's drawing out the release a little longer every time, to where now it's just kind of, a mess of all the synths kind of stepping on top of each other instead of the pluck that we had before.
Interesting. So tell us what's happening as the cutoff is increasing, and did you say the release is increasing as well?
Yeah.
So for those that don't know what each of those are doing, just explain a bit about the effect that you're trying to produce.
So, I mean, basically it starts out with these like short spurts, the plucks that, don't have much tail to them. And the cutoff just keeps the high end on it tame and keep it nice and low, and then it'll slowly bring out the high end, kind of like giving it an energy.
Right.
And then the point of the decay kind of stepping out is to kind of blend it into less of like a plucky arp and kind of blend it into just like a synth where it's just kind of throwing notes out. I guess it's to bring it away from being as percussive like the pluck is, and to bring it into just like drawing out notes.
Yeah. And are there any other elements within a synth that you tend to mess with in order to kind of influence that build-up, or are these two tricks that you've been doing for a while now? Yeah,
when I want to get that effect of really energizing something and bringing up like a big build like that, I do mess with pretty much always cutoff and sometimes release. Other things I go for, like I think on this one I actually did it a little bit too with reverb, where I'll automate reverb up on it as the synth builds and stuff to kind of give it a sense that it's moving further away and not, keeping right in the front center of the picture there.
Right.
Yeah. And sometimes I'll do it with delays and stuff like that. So, pretty much anything that will, like, I guess mask the sound, make the sound further away or filter it or something like that, or stuff that I'll like automate into it. Yeah.
Cool. And is this a patch that you built from the ground up on Massive?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I just basically started with just like a square wave. It's like a square saw wave. Basically, the wavetable position will determine whether it's a square or a saw.
Okay.
So they basically just have saw waves going. And, I built it with this little pluck here, which is this shape, and then, from there, just the release will extend and extend. And,
yeah. And what actually is arpeggiating it? Is that something happening within Ableton?
No, that's happening within LFO. So on here, this right here is going through. The cutoff is dictating like the pluck, basically, the speed of the pluck, which is this right here. It's kind of like an LFO. It's a stepper. Yeah.
Crazy. That's all happening within Massive.
Yeah.
Wow, man. So it seems like you have a pretty good grasp of how to shape something and build something within Massive.
Yeah. It still, will take me a while if I really want to dig in somewhere and you figure out exactly what I want to do with it. But yeah, if I have an idea for a certain type of sound, I've a pretty good idea of how to achieve it, I think. Yeah.
And where would you recommend someone starts if they want to dive into really understanding how to use Massive properly?
I think where I really gained a lot was just like watching YouTube tutorials of people going through Massive synths and not downloading presets at the end of it, because a lot of videos will be like, oh, and here's the preset for the video we used. But, if you just, I'll like have the YouTube video up in a screen in my computer, and then I'll have Ableton up and I'll kind of work with the guy while he's making synths. And, I used to do that for a really long time, like, 6 years ago or so. I think I started it with Massive, and then now I just kind of dive in and will, you know, just take from what I know and build whatever I want. But sometimes I still watch in on other videos, especially like new synths that come out, and I'm like, oh, wow, what was that? Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Do you want to dive in? There's one other thing that I was really interested by, and you had described it as just you kind of hitting random notes on a keyboard that are within keys.
Yeah. So basically on my push, I have it automated up, so it's really quiet at the beginning there. But basically on my push, I have it in the key of the song, which I think was like, I think it was B minor. But I have it just in the key of the song, so you could like select key mode, and then I'm just pretty much just randomly mashing in like 16th notes, just like, you know, higher notes, keys within the scale. And I have that kind of just slipped low underneath the arpeggiator to kind of give it like an extra sheen, like an extra sparkle. Instead of, because if that is just kind of like stale and direct, and, you know, with it and with everything, it's kind of just a little bit of sparkle on top.
Yeah. Interesting. And did you do anything? It looks like these are all grouped together in some way. What is the purpose of that?
A lot of these groups are just like for organizational purposes. Like this ARP group isn't really doing anything. You know, the level is just at unity at 0, and there's no effects on the group or anything. But a lot of them, like this group, I do for like a specific purpose. Like I have all these sidechain compressors.
What group is that?
This is the like main synth group. So when it drops, so let's see. Yeah. So like the main wobble and the like background synth that comes in is all in here.
Wow, that is a pretty hectic chain. I think the sidechain compression was something that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah.
Alright, lesson 2, we're going to talk with Danny over here about sidechain compression.